Hi everyone, this kind of girl back with another video for you all here on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't done already, do please click the subscribe button and also hit the little bell icon and you will never miss a video from me. So, in my last video, I spoke to you all about how can I convince my wife to try swinging. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my top tips on how to talk to your partner or your wife about starting swinging. This is a topic which I get asked a lot about. It's a topic which I know a lot of you want the answers to. And in my last video, I spoke to you about kind of coercion and really having a good think about what it is you want to get out of the lifestyle before you approach this subject with your partner, and having kind of getting yourself ready and getting the right mindset for having that conversation with them, and also understanding that they're probably going to be a little bit, it's normal for them to be a little bit defensive or a little bit apprehensive. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to convince my wife to start swinging, my top tips. So let's get straight down into it. I have a lot to share with you. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this topic because I get asked on it so much. So I really hope it helps people. So, number one, explain that you want to share the swinging experience with them and you can't imagine doing it with anyone else. You want to experience and enjoy the lifestyle together and grow as a couple. Now, I did touch on this in my other video, and it's just about how you kind of, if you say, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to get involved in lifestyle, that's going to come across not a very appealing way at all. But if you say, look, I think maybe we should try this, or I've been thinking about how we can join in or how we would feel, it's much more, it's going to be received in a much better way, basically. Listen to their reservations and their fears. Understandably, they're going to have concerns about starting swinging. Listen to them and find a solution together. If one partner thinks swinging will ruin the relationship, then it's a really good idea to ask them why. Talk about it and address these reasons. Are they founded in anything specific? If they have these fears, then you really do need to have the conversations about it. It could just be that they think, oh, well, you know, if we start swinging, then you're just going to run off with somebody else, or you're not going to find me attractive anymore. Well, why do you think that? You don't have to be confrontational about it, but having a good, honest adult discussion is one of the first steps. Now, I shouldn't need to say this, but I'm going to. You need to remind your partner that they are loved and adored, regardless of whether they want to get involved in the lifestyle or not. Top tip number 4 is make sure you are entering the lifestyle for the right reasons. This goes back to what I spoke about in my other video about exploring different ways to get involved. If you would love to see your wife having sex with another woman, but she's not in the slightest bit bi-curious, then I'm afraid no amount of pestering is going to make her change her mind. So you really do have to be honest. It's the same with if you really want to see your guy have sex with another man, but he's not in the slightest bit bi-curious, then that's not going to happen. And no amount of you pestering him or wishing it would happen or talking about it, or it's not going to happen. So you have to work with what you have got. Now you have to be prepared to compromise and work together. This is top tip number 5. Chances are the person who initiated the swinging feels a lot more confident than the person who didn't. Taking things slowly is key. Always move at the pace of the least experienced person. Top tip number 6 is read blogs and other people's experiences of swinging together to get a realistic idea of what the lifestyle is all about. There was a time many years ago I never thought I'd be able to even contemplate starting swinging, and look where I am today. If you want to get involved in the Discord group, you can, and you will hear so many different people's experiences and takes, and kind of you'll just be able to get a much more better and realistic idea of what swinging and lifestyles are about. You can of course get involved on social media, you can watch my videos, you can get involved with other content creators. There's loads of people out there who do make similar content to myself. I'll put the link into the Discord in the description for this video. My next top tip is, if your partner really doesn't get it, then I'm afraid there's not an awful lot you can do to convince them. If they reject you and brandish you a pervert, which sadly it can happen, this can hurt. I know it hurts because it's happened to me before, and it hurt, and it wasn't very pleasant at all. But you have to understand that they are doing this because they are feeling quite unhappy about what you have suggested, and the natural response when somebody doesn't understand something is to be defensive and is to be negative about it. And often people do feel cynical when they are faced with something which challenges them, because it's easier to be like that than it is to be open-minded and embrace it. It's easier to instantly be negative. Feeling threatened by the prospect of introducing others into your most intimate relationship is perfectly normal. Now, my next top tip is, if your partner is not warming to the idea of opening up your relationship, then you can always suggest other ways in which you can enjoy your sex life together. If having an active and experimental sex life is something that's important to you, then don't be afraid to voice your opinions and your desires. Your desires are personal to you. And if you want to experience something sexually, you should be able to. Perhaps you're bi-curious, perhaps you're a guy who wants to experience having sex with another guy, or perhaps enjoying oral sex with another man, or perhaps wants to enjoy being dominated by a couple, and perhaps there are other ways which you can enjoy these things. Now, if you want to experience anal sex whilst performing oral sex on your woman, for example, but your partner isn't keen on getting another man involved, then sometimes investing in a good quality dildo or sex toy, it can be one way that you can experience these things without bringing in other people. One thing I would say is, very often when people talk about swinging, they think about swinging, it can be a lot too much too soon, and I did touch on this in my last video about this topic. But when you're talking about how to convince your partner to start swinging, really do your research. I cannot stress to you how important it is to investigate all the different ways of which you can get involved in the lifestyle, because there's so many different ways. Yes, you may want to get involved in those fantasies, those scenarios that I just spoke about, but that's very full on. You know, those things are very they're quite hardcore limits, they're quite hardcore things to do. These things can take years to build up to, and if you go in too soon and say all these explicit things that you want to do, that's probably going to put a lot of people off, and it's probably going to scare a lot of people. So what you need to do is say, okay, well, I'm thinking about the lifestyle, and I'm thinking about going to a few clubs. Maybe we can go together. I'm thinking we should perhaps have a look at some swinger sites online, perhaps read about a lifestyle together. That way you're going to get a far better response than simply diving in too soon and being far too explicit about what it is you want to enjoy. These things take time. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you an insight into what it's like to talk to your partner, or how to talk to your partner. Do please join me next time when I will be giving you more top tips and advice on the swinger lifestyle.